Okay, Mishlei 21:14. Matan baseser yichpe af v'shochad b'chik chema azah. Isaac, I feel like we had shochad b'chik last year at some point, but the rest of the pasuk wasn't. I don't think it was, or maybe we had matan baseser.
The shochad b'chik wasn't it wasn't in shiur. It was a pasuk that we learned together, I think 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
All runs together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's. Yeah. You want to try?
A gift in secret covers up anger.
Yep.
And a bribe in the lap or bosom of I guess powerful wrath.
Okay, and a bribe in the lap bosom. Bosom's always a weird word because I feel like it's used for like lots of different areas, you know. So I'm just gonna go with lap for now. Well, that's one way, but bosom also like you know, when Moshe puts his hand into his jacket, right? It says he like the fancy English things, he put his hand into his bosom, you know.
Pocket.
It could be, but then it's also a lap though. Like I think it can also mean lap. Oh, I see. How's it going?
I think it's like I think that meaning is like chest area.
Yeah, right. A bribe in the lap, strong, powerful, strong wrath, right? Okay. So as you see, yichpe according to Metzudas ציון inyan kisui. Okay, so looks like he's giving 2 interpretations. So kisui is covering, right? So that's how we're translating it. And then u'v'divrei Rabbeinu zichrono livracha kappa alehem har kagigis. So what was it? Does it mean to? I mean, it means to flip. Okay, okay, invert. Yeah, right. Not like to do a flip. Yeah, right. Like to turn upside down. Right.
We did have matan before. I do remember that.
Right.
Giving a gift.
Yeah, ish matan. I think. Yeah.
Is not good or something.
So overturn. So let's just say overturn. So either covers up or overturns anger. Okay, so then we have Sadigon, who said, oops, gotta remember to do this. Hold on. Analysis notes. Okay, Sadia Gaon says, V'hashochad b'chik yishakech chema azah. So I think that's like in Megillas Esther when it's talking about Achashverosh. What's the phrase? Shachacha. You know what I'm talking about? Chamas melech shachacha, shachacha. Let's just see. Hold on. That's in the first parak, right? What was the No, is it in the second parak? Oh no, that's after he kills Haman, right? After, yeah. The chamas melech shachacha, right? So it means that he it dissipated, right? Or it what is this translation of? So he's translating. Oh, that's weird, right? So he's adding in a word, right? A bribe in the lap. So Sadigon adds in. So a bribe in the lap. Is there a better word than dissipate? Like to cause to dissipate?
What?
To cause to dissipate. Yeah.
Not really active.
No, it's not. Yeah. I feel like there's a word for this, right? Like you make someone's anger go away.
Dissipate someone's anger.
Yeah, but it's not active.
Disperse is kind of, but not really.
No, there's a word. It'll come to me. So causes anger to dissipate. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Targum ksuvim. Once again, I forgot to look this up. Muhava. No, soothe to me implies like a calm, like a positive state, as opposed to just making the anger go away. Diffuses, that's definitely better. Yeah, that's definitely better. Diffuses anger. Let's do that. Yeah, diffuses strong wrath. Okay. Wait, do you say diffuses or defuses like a bomb? Diffuses. Yeah, diffuses is good. Yeah. Diffuse is to scatter or to like make go away in a scattering way. Here, you can pass that down.
So what the word we just used is?
This one's like a bomb. Yeah. Okay. Muhava betisha medacha rugza v'shuchada uva chemta ashinta. Okay, so I think this is just a literal translation here. He just adds a actually uva might be something different. I think uva is how you say grape in Spanish. I don't know why.
Ah,
Did that lead to an insight or something? Okay, uva. Yeah. That something flickered in my mind when I said grape, and I guess that must have been it. Okay. Uva is lap. Okay, fine. A lap bribe, right? Shulchata uva. So he just takes out the preposition of in. All right, I'm not so concerned with
how
this.
do you read the last phrase?
In-
A bribe in the lap, strong wrath.
Right. So that's why Sadi Gaon adds in a word, because he does feel like something's missing there. Okay, let's say Art Scroll. Art Scroll says an anonymous gift. Okay.
It's a good word.
Yeah. That's interesting. Okay, but that's definitely taking a stance on it, right? An anonymous gift will cover up anger, and a bribe in the bosom, and then they also add in will appease strong wrath. Living Knox says a gift in secret suppresses anger, because that's like puts a like covering, right? Meaning it's there, but it's covered. And a payment in private, fierce wrath. So they're taking a stance on shocha b'cheik, fierce wrath. So what they're basically saying, I mean, this is how I would read it, is that you basically put this word yichpeh over here also, right? It's just a economical way of saying it. Yeah. So I'll put, how do I do this? I'll put this in. We don't want people to think this is real brackets, so we'll put it in gray, like that. Yeah. Okay. And then altar says a gift in secret allays anger, and a stealthy bribe fierce wrath. Okay, stealthy is also good. Yeah. All right. Okay. So what are our questions here? I'm just going to erase all these things here.
What's going on?
Yep. What's going on? Yeah. So what's the case here? Is that what you mean? What's going on? What case
Yes.
is this case or cases?
I was mostly saying
Is
that
this
just to
talking
get
about-
some comedic effect, but
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's the question.
You'll be proud to know that was always Ryan Moskowitz's first question as well. What's going on? Yeah, Kiva? Oh, right. Yeah, Isaiah?
Isn't bribery bad?
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
not bad, isn't it?
Okay, right. So this pasuk seems to be endorsing bribery on some level, but isn't it usher/bad?
Wait, I thought the second half of the pasuk of bribery is not good.
Well,
Look at the question.
at least it's at least a question on the first half, and then if you say that that in the second half it covers up anger,
Right.
sounds like a good
So
thing.
then you have to ask, what's the difference between a gift and a bribe?
Okay, so what is a matan? Sorry, a matan baseser, and a shochat b'cheik.
The difference. Yeah.
Shochat b'cheik. Well, I'm going to say, are they the same, or and if not, what is the difference? Yeah, Yaakov.
No, so
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to apply yichpeh to the second half of the pasuk or not?
Okay, right. So if let's put it this way, if I'm going to assume that we do, so I'm going to say if yichpeh doesn't apply to the second half, then how do we read it? I suppose also, what does yichpeh af mean? And is what is the difference between that and yich? Yich. My fingers are still frozen from the walk. Chema aza. Yeah.
why would secrecy help wrath go down?
Okay.
When you
Why?
just the
Yeah.
fact of giving someone money is
Okay.
it's-
Why/how does the secrecy element make a difference in terms of yichpeh af? Or maybe, or let's just say make a difference. In other words, it might not be a thing. It might not be the secrecy that makes the wrath go away. It might just be that that's how you do it. Right? Meaning, like, you just bribe openly, then that's not going to work. So I'd rather keep the question broader. Like, how does it make a difference?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is
Or what's the significance of it? Maybe. Yeah.
Why specifically comma aza?
Okay.
Maybe it's not
Yeah.
specific, but what is the aza at?
Okay, good. So Opasacer. Okay, and then what did we say, just as a general question, what is Chema Aza? Oh, we did. I'll just add this here then. Why Aza? Yeah, Sean.
Whose anger are we talking about?
Okay, whose anger are we talking about? That's a good question. Yeah, that really is like, I'm gonna actually put that as part of this first question here. I feel like it's quite part of the question. What case is this? What are the facts? Yeah,
I think it's already in one question sort of, but
Yeah.
it sounds like the two halves are kind of just repetitious.
yeah,
Is that something Mishlei ever does?
yeah. So according to the Metzudas David's favorite phrase is "kafel ham davar b'miloshonos," that it repeats the same thing in different language, and he'll often take that approach, and so will a lot of the other meforshim. And so that's always the question: is like, is this just repeating the same thing? Is it a completely different element of the pasuk, or and like both are needed for the idea, or is it just like two expressions, two nuanced different expressions of the same idea, or something like that? Yeah.
Can you can you apply this to like a society or just an individual?
Good question. Hold on a second. I'm just going to get Yaakov's. What, if anything, is the difference between the two halves of the pasuk? Okay.
Does it not include five of them?
Oh, is that? Yeah, correct. All right. So then let me just. So let's do this then. Let's do what's the difference between the two halves, and then let's say was yichpe af mean, and what would it mean in this? What would be what, if anything, is the second half saying differently? That's not the best way to ask it, but yeah. Ariel's question is,
Can you give a gift to a society or a town or whatever, like an overturning?
like a culture. Yeah.
Or a cult, sure.
What? Hold on a second. Is this exclusively on a person-to-person basis, or can this apply between groups? Yeah. Okay. I feel like that's basically the main questions. Oh, what we didn't ask what a bribe is, right? Oh, is it matam says on shachar b'chayk? Yeah, that's true. I guess we did that. Yeah, but I guess
What is the
so.
last?
Let me actually just make the broader question here. What is a matan and a shochad? What are in general, and then what is a matam b'seser and a shochad b'chayk specifically? Yeah. Was there another hand up?
Bafek, yeah. I mean, I was gonna ask what's bafek, but you already asked that.
Yeah.
Who's the audience?
Oh, who's the audience? Yeah, right. This is important, right? Who is the audience? And anytime you have a bribe puzzle, there's going to be two likely candidates, right? Is it the giver or the recipient, or another party? Right. Meaning maybe we're talking about like, like, let's say you're in a society where people bribe, I don't know, police officers or whatever. So like, you might not be the one who's bribing or doing the bribing, but it's going to affect you because you're in that
Oh,
society.
another question is, what kind of a person are you giving the gift to? Like,
Right.
like
Okay.
is he just angry one time?
Okay,
Or
yeah.
is it
So,
all-
let's just put that in this question here, which is who, like, are what types of individuals are involved here?
Okay. Right. Yes.
Okay. So what do we say? So I mean, I feel like we need to figure out what the case is. Where's this anger? You know, to me, anger indicates something like limits the case very narrowly to like. Would anyone have a intuition about what the case is?
I would say like a judge.
Yeah. But is the judge angry?
I think that if he's acting like, if he's a proper judge and someone's done something atrocious, then
Yeah.
yes, he should be very angry.
Uh-huh.
Right, that's not necessarily a problem for him to be
Right.
frustrated or upset at what the person has done in terms
Mhm.
of justice.
Uh-huh. Okay. I definitely hear that. I guess my intuition is different. I'll withhold mine for a second.
It
Yeah.
might be along the lines of him.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'll leave that to you. Maybe it's in a case where the individual is not always angry. It's not a part of his personality.
Mhm.
However, you can have situations where something really like ticks you off, and
Mhm.
that's what makes you angry. But it's not really a part of you.
Why? Where are you getting the thing from that it's like not a part of you? Are you getting that
Because
from
you
the pasuk?
cover it up. I mean, you don't really cover something up that's internal to you. It's just it's who you are. I mean, if it's who you are, it's like you have to give them a lot of damn gifts every single day to cover them up.
Okay, so mean when you mean it's like an instance where someone gets angry, and
An
as opposed to like a
instance.
trend where the person is always angry. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I do.
I was thinking this seems to be like a case where you have like a relationship with this person.
Yeah,
So you're not going to be able to like avoid them. You have to like sort of appease their anger
right.
in some way.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah.
I would go the opposite direction of Ari
Okay.
in terms of, right, if he's covering it up,
Yeah.
it's because he can't remove it.
Uh-huh.
If you translate it as it overturns, right, so then there's like a
Right.
dynamic shift within it,
Right.
right? But if it's just covering up, then it's still there under the surface. It's
Right.
just no longer like,
Right. So
I was using overturn. I was trying to use overturn.
well, I think there's an in-between possibility as well, which is that covering up could just mean that they have the anger, but they're no longer acting on it. You know, so and that in other words, it doesn't have to. We don't have to make a judgment about how often this person gets angry. It could just be the effect that you're trying to go for. Like whatever the scenario is you don't care whether they actually are angry or not. You just don't want that anger to affect anything. So that's why it's
can that really, like, I just don't see that as practically being possible. I think that if a person has resentment,
yeah.
then whether or not they think that they're acting upon it or not, they're going to be biased in certain ways in their actions. They might not be acting on it like explicitly.
Right.
but they are
So
gonna be
let's say, for example, like a kid. I mean, I'm going to posit the way I'm thinking about this, just to get it all on the table here. Is to me, it could be a judge, but I think it's really you're trying to bribe your way out of a punishment, or out of some sort of imposed consequence. You know, because I think that's what the anger is, and that's why I'm not inclined to think it's a judge. Because a judge, if we're already talking about a judge who's getting angry, then that's either going to be a very high level or very low level. And I feel like the Stam judge is going to be dispassionate in handing out verdicts. And it's not like, in other words, if you're bribing a judge, you're not bribing him to get rid of his anger. You're bribing him to like, you know, sidestep the law. I just feel like judge is a weird way to put it. I feel like if anything, this is more of someone who's what do you call people who
Emotional
who give punishments?
executioner.
Yeah,
Enforcer.
who enforces laws as opposed to like pronouncing judgments. Yeah.
So that you're viewing the pasuk from the perspective of the person who's bribing.
Who's bribed?
Who's bribing.
Who's bribing?
right?
Yeah, that he's
I'm
trying
viewing more from
to.
the perspective of the person who is being bribed.
Who's being
right?
bribed.
That's the audience.
Mhm.
In which case, I think that,
So say how you're reading it again.
right, if or like how I would read it, just like also a little bit of interpretation, right,
Yeah.
would be that, right, a person who is a judge, right, I think everyone's going to have some like emotions going into the case.
Mhm.
Any judge is going to have an emotion, right? And when they take a bribe, they think, oh, this is going to make me like my emotion go away, right?
Mhm.
And I'll be able to shift sides, right?
Mhm.
But even though they've taken the bribe, it's just covered up their emotion. But
Mhm.
the emotion's still there, and so
Uh-huh.
it's going to be tearing them up inside
Yeah.
because they went against what they thought
Right.
was right in the case.
Yeah. So I definitely think that that idea is true. It's really clashing with my intuition to say that the case we're talking about here is a judge who's angry and then is being bribed to get rid of his anger. Like it's just the focus of the pasuk is on the anger, and I feel like in the judge, anger is not the normal. Anger is not going to be the standard emotion, and I don't know. So different intuitions here. Yeah. Like
So how are we defining anger throughout other, like, do we use that term in other positions?
I don't know if we need to define it or talk about another pesukim. I think it's just the way I'm seeing it right now is like I was going to say, let me address your question and Sean's question at the same time in terms of you don't think it's possible to completely like cover up anger in a way where it won't manifest itself. That's true. But let's take a case like this. Okay, a kid does something that upsets his parent and the parent grounds the kid, right? Or threatens to ground the kid. And so the kid like does a matan b'seser or a shochad b'cheik, okay, whatever that, we have to figure out what that is. And what it does is like the mom still might be angry, but she says, okay, fine, I won't ground you this time. You know, now it's true that the anger is still there and it might still affect things, but that's not what the kid was trying to do. The kid's just trying to get out of the being grounded, you know? So in terms of answering your question, Ellie, like, I don't know if it matters how we define the anger. I think anytime a person is going to to impose a consequence or a harm out of anger. This pasuk is talking about a case where the would-be victim, are trying to diffuse it. Yeah. Now we might have to define anger, but I think anger is part of the case, not the subject of the pasuk. Yeah. Yeah. I could be wrong though. Yeah.
According to the side you go,
Yeah.
it might matter, though, right? Because he says it's Meshakeh.
That's true. Right. Oh, so that's true. Yeah. I should actually use the side you going word here. Yesha. What did he say? Yesha. Yishakech. Yeah. Yeah. So we should be aware of this, that let me just put this here. Oops. Sag. Yeah. So according to Sadigon might make a difference. See, it's hard though, right? I was gonna say Yishakech makes it sound like you get rid of the anger altogether, which would be different maybe than Yichpeh, because Sadigon didn't translate Yichpeh, right? So in other words, presumably Yichpeh means to cover up. But then if it's too different, then you got a problem of Ikra Chaser Min Sefer, that why would the pasuk not say a word here? So that leads me to believe that he might be learning Yichpeh also as Yishakech. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Isaiah?
Maybe I thought maybe a difference between Matan B'Sefer and Shochad B'Feik.
Yeah.
Perhaps you can say like Matan B'Sefer is you directly, I mean, it's just for the perspective of the person giving the bribe. You directly give the gift to the person who is angry. And Shochad B'Feik, if you somehow arrange a gift to be given.
Right. Just ends up, oh, what's this? Yeah, right. That's interesting.
Maybe it makes sense because like one can see some amount of anger.
Right.
One is like wrath.
Right. And are you getting the first half that is direct from the fact that it's matan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I hear. Yeah.
Maybe to add to that a little
Yeah.
bit, maybe you can say that that when someone is angry, it's something, in order for him to like diffuse the to diffuse the anger or to overturn or whatever, he has to it's something internal for the most part. So when he gets a gift in secret, the gift itself is external, but how he perceives the gift through himself, that's internal. So maybe he'll calm himself down through the gift. Maybe he'll start analyzing himself a little bit more. Maybe he'll look, like good things.
Right. Triggers a certain thought process, you're saying.
Certain thought process.
Yeah.
But if someone's it seems like the bribe is open.
Yeah, I was thinking also it's opposite of what Isaiah is saying.
Oh, it's opposite?
Oh, you're trying to say it's the same?
I don't know.
Because another
let's spark the thought.
Let me just try saying it the opposite way. Is that the second half is talking about I'm bribing the guy. I'm giving him a bribe. First way is saying I'm giving him a gift, or I'm just it's functioning like I'm hoping that it functions like a bribe, but it is not being called a bribe here. Yeah.
I guess the reason I'm saying it's that Shofar B'Feik means it's like being delivered to the guy.
Yeah.
Is two reasons. One, B'Feik I think means that it's not you're handing it to him, it's like ending up in his lap.
Yeah.
So just kind of shot. And also I think in a case of wrath, like if you see the person that you're angry at, it's not going to when you're really, really angry at a person, seeing them is just going to incite more anger.
Right.
So if you don't see them, it's maybe the only way you can give them a gift that would work.
Well,
I see.
Anyone can give them a gift. I mean, the bribe.
Right. I mean, because we're assuming that the guy knows that it's from you, right? Otherwise, it's not
Right,
gonna.
right. It would
Yeah.
be from you, but
Right.
just now they don't have to see you.
Right. Right. I hear. Yeah. Chema. Yeah.
I'm saying different.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yaakov.
I think the reason why a bribe might work in general is
Yeah, we should talk
because
about that.
when a person is angry at you,
Yeah.
they're not really angry at you about whatever the principles of the matter are.
Yeah.
It's more likely that they're angry, in most cases, they're angry at you because of the interpersonal slight
Right.
and personal anger.
Right.
So the fact that you address the interpersonal relationship, I guess,
Yeah.
by you being subservient to them and kneeling.
Right.
So I kowtowing to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That calms down.
Right.
Not actually addressing whatever they.
Right. So that's an important point here, right? Is that that the bribe, in no case is the bribe actually addressing the cause of the anger, whatever the cause of the anger is, but it's in terms of the ego or the relationship. Yeah.
And I think maybe why he's saying interpretation here is because if you did it
openly, that might look like you're trying to make
To buy their
do
favor.
things- Yeah, or to do something for appearance's sake.
Yeah,
In front of the other people.
yeah.
It's not gonna. It
Mhm.
wouldn't feel.
Right, it has to be private because it's not for show. It's just for the purity of the subservient gesture. It has to be just seen by the wronged party or the the angry party. Yeah.
I just wanna argue that for a
Yeah.
second. So I agree that the perception of the bride can try to make the relationship, go.
Mhm.
However, I think the second half of the pasuk is the opposite of the first half. That the bride is really not a good thing, because it's just a short-term effect.
Mhm.
The reason why is because you're solving the surface issue, but you're not solving, like you said,
Right.
that's the very point. You're not serving the internal issue that he has with it. You're just covering that up.
Right, but what Yaakov was saying though is that the thing that made the anger there in the first place was not the particular issue, right? It was just an interpersonal thing,
Right.
So I'm saying that
It's
no,
an interpersonal thing.
but Yaakov's argument though is that you don't actually have to solve the
I'm saying
issue
you
that they were
do.
fighting about.
I'm saying you do.
Yeah,
That's
right.
The whole point. That's where starting. You're diffusing the situation, but you're not actually, you're not actually removing the situation.
Oh no, so Sadigon we were learning to mean that you're actually getting rid of the anger. Because that's the only phrase we're familiar with is by Achashverosh, where he actually was no longer angry at Haman after Haman was killed, I'm not saying that rules out any of your ideas. I'm just saying, I just wanted to clarify how we're learning
All right,
Sadigon.
so I'm saying different or something.
Okay, yeah, you can say it differently, yeah. I feel like, okay, so we've got a lot of moving parts here. Okay, we have what is the nature of this anger? Okay, what is the case we're talking about, and then what is the secrecy? I feel like we're toggling all these switches here, So, and see, the one thing that makes me inclined to say that this is a judge, even though I don't think judge works with the anger thing, is the need for secrecy. I mean, I think Yaakov's answer is good for secrecy also, that it's just not going to have the interpersonal effect if it's in the open, because people are going to assume that it's for show. But like, I feel like there's some element of like illegality here that warrants the secrecy, whether it's a judge or a police officer or whatever. I think police officer more than judge, but someone who's enforcing punishment. But then the anger question still is on that as well.
Maybe the gift is a problem and the bribe is a good thing. I want to say that they're opposites.
You want to say they're opposites.
I wanna
That's a
say
much
they're
harder
opposites.
read than saying that they're the same, but you're entitled to that.
I
Yeah.
like Kedusha.
Yeah.
It's- I mean, a
You-
bribe in general is hard. I mean, it sounds, it has a negative
You
connotation.
want a creative way to read the pasuk? You could say it like this. And this would be an opposite way. A gift in secret covers anger, but a bribe in the lap arouses strong wrath.
Yeah.
I was waiting to say that.
Yeah.
Under 3 or whatever, but.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
was gonna say that on like
Incurs wrath. Yeah, that's a better word. Incurs wrath. Yeah.
Hey, that's what
But I mean, only because it doesn't say anything like he adds that word, but.
Right. Yeah. That's why it gives us a certain.
Poetry type.
Yeah. Right. We have a lot of license in the second half. Yeah. Like,
I know, like Ariel mentioned before, like if you're talking from a society standpoint,
Mhm.
a bribe definitely on like a utilitarian level.
right. Meaning if people see that someone got bribed. Yeah.
give everyone $10 million.
Right. That's actually a good point, by the way, is that the wrath could be in the third party. Right. Meaning that someone witnesses, like if you are trying to get, I don't know, applying for a job or a college or whatever, like, and then you find out that someone got in because they bribed, then that makes you really angry, Yeah. It's really, really tough to pin down the case here. Yeah, it is, right? Yeah, it's like what is it? It's like the rule of Tosfos, right? Sometimes that
The long one is easy.
the long one's easy and the short one's difficult. With Mishlei, the ones that read smoothly tend to be the most difficult, and the ones that are like, how do you even read this? See, when it's how do you even read this? There is a phenomenon of it clicks, and you're like, oh, that's it, But with this, it's like you're on uncertain footing. Yeah, keep it.
Or if it's not, so this you're talking about like one case.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
The gift you could apply to someone, you did something wrong in their eyes, even if you're innocent.
Yeah.
Giving the gift to.
Right.
And then the bribe could be a judge case also.
Right. Yeah, definitely the pasuk. I'm willing to bet that we are going to see that the meforshim take it in different ways. I'm just looking for one way that's consistent. So can we take, to me, how do we feel about, yeah?
I have a question, how you guys are reading it.
Yeah.
We
don't know.
Like what direction you guys are looking for. It sounds like you guys are reading this in a negative sense. I mean, so far as between two people.
Yeah.
Where it just seemed like it could have also been read as Matama Seiter and Shochan V'Chayk are both ways of doing something for someone in which there's clearly like a lishma to it, in that with giving a gift in private is you're not showing people, oh, look at this, I'm giving this guy.
Right.
It's very much like you're doing this for the sake of the guy.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly how that shofar works, like getting to the lap. It seemed like it could have been, and this might just be putting things in there. Like when you hand something like directly to someone, you put in their lap. There's a lot of doing things on your own that is required to really like get it to the guy without him having to like stretch out his hand at all.
It's directly to his lap. Yeah.
And both of those are ways of giving between two people. There's a much greater connection of you're doing this for the guy himself.
Right. Meaning, yeah, it's not involving anyone else or seen by anyone else. Yeah. Just saying, I was going to say that it might be that Isaac, maybe I'm getting this from last time we learned a puzzle, something like this, but I think the closest thing to b'cheik is an under the table deal, like what we say in English, like you're giving him money under the table, like in a way where, where people don't see it. That's how it ends up in his lap, because like, you're both sitting at the table, but right now, I just wanted to take an intuition temperature here. My intuition is now leaning more heavily towards this is an interpersonal thing where you upset the person and you're trying to smooth things over by giving them something. How does that feel for just trying it out? Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
Look at the Joshua. So there's shachach and there's shechach. Shechach means to uncover, to find.
How do you spell that?
Shin chaf chet, but it's she, not shah.
Wait, shin chaf
Oh, it doesn't.
chet? That's not the word we're looking. No one says that.
I know, but it's weird. I mean, to find.
That's a completely different shorish.
So what is this, Sharash?
This is shin chaf chaf
Oh, shin chaf
or shin chaf he. I'm not sure if that's those are two different things. Yeah.
If it is interpersonal, why is the word shofar used?
Because I do think we use shochad when we talk about interpersonal relationships also. Like we don't reserve the word shochad just for like an official bribe. Like you're we use bribe. So let's just try it, just so we have something for today. Let's just try working it out in terms of the interpersonal, right? So you upset somebody and you are trying to actually, I'm not taking a stance on whether the pasuk is talking to the giver or the recipient. I'm just giving the case, using the second person for the case, is you upset somebody and you're trying to correct things through a matam b'seser or a shochad b'cheik. So what happens here? And that's why I think like the way you set it up, Yaakov, is like, to me, the most fruitful right now.
Yeah, I'm very inclined towards that way.
Yeah.
Because I think there's I think that the natural assumption is that if I did something to offend a person or to get a person angry, then what you have to do in order to make them not angry is to undo that thing.
Yeah.
But even if you do that, the person's still going to be angry. So
Right.
it's saying you do something specifically to address how they're feeling,
Right.
not and it's being called a bribe because it has nothing to do with
It's extrinsic.
like the person is like angry at you for like a justice reason, and
Yeah.
then you're like almost like circumventing like the justice because it's not like because the person isn't angry at you because of actual justice concerns. They're angry at you
Right.
because of what you did to them. So you need
Right.
to
So I also want to make a point here, which maybe everyone was assuming this, but I want to call attention to it. This does not mean that you're repairing the relationship. It just means that you're getting rid of the anger, right? So like I think the case that I'm thinking of here, like this is just to use a stereotypical example here, is the husband like upsets the wife and then he brings her flowers. Now the flowers don't like make her forget what happened or like reconcile the thing, but it diminishes the anger enough for them to be able to what was that? I wasn't going to go that extreme, but to like have a conversation about what happened, So we're and in that sense, it could be a good thing. I guess that's the other weird thing about this pasuk is like, does this pasuk have like sinister undertones, of like you're gaming the system, or is it just using bribe, which we associate in negative with negative illegality, and then using it for like interpersonal like goodness? Yeah.
Okay, so Joshua says appease.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use appease instead of diffuse.
Okay.
Because
yeah, one of our English translations said that also.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
living
so,
off. Yeah.
so I'm gonna so that's good. So I think if you use the word appease in the second half of the pasuk versus diffuse, then my line of thinking makes sense, because if you appease him, you're not removing anything. You're just suppressing the anger.
Okay, I mean, to me that sounds like the first half also, right? Covering
No,
up.
but there's a
Because you're
huge
trying to say
difference.
overturn.
Because in the first half, you're overturning the anger. You're not making him angry anymore because he is doing it himself. I mean, there's no external individual removing the anger, because it's hard for an individual to have someone else remove it. It's an internal process. The second half of the pasuk is a bribe. Someone else is attempting to do it for you, and that's never going to work because you're always going to be blaming the other guy. So in that sense, yeah, he could appease him, but you're not really removing the issue, because everyone likes a bribe and may feel good, but that's like that sense of feeling good is just an illusion to what you really feel.
Right.
And I think
hard pasuk.
So I think, to answer what your question that you just said, like what is this pasuk actually doing here? I think this pasuk is very, very smart, because it's just teaching you how to live your life, because you're gonna be encountering this situation in life, whether in work and family, friends, society. You're gonna have to live in a society, and chances are you're probably gonna take someone up someday or whatever. So this is a way of maintaining relationships.
Right.
It's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. It's just
it's a strategy.
A strategy to move forward in your circle.
Yeah. That triggered another thought, by the way, just how to read the pasuk. You could read the pasuk that matam b'seser and shochad b'cheik are synonyms, but that hold on, where's I going to go with this? That the main difference is between af and chama aza, and that I guess I'm combining two ways to read it. I'm saying that a matam b'seser will cover up anger, but a shochad b'cheik will incur great wrath. Meaning that according to this way of reading the pasuk, there is a fine line, sometimes when you bribe, when you have a bribe, it works, but then if it doesn't work, it's like, who do you think I am? That I'm not, like, I have no integrity, that you could just like manipulate me with this bribe, it's interesting, what's the word I'm looking for? Where you cross the boundary and you get the opposite result. Yeah, Isaiah?
Maybe I have a way of reading this where it diffuses, but it could incur.
Okay. That's kind of the way I'm taking it right now, yeah.
Right. So or I had an approach to the whole.
Oh, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
So I guess with matam b'seser yikfa'af, I think it's a case where you're going to a person and they're angry with you, but they're not wrath at you. They're not at that point yet.
Yeah.
Or they're never going to get to that point. And you bring them a gift directly, and it smoothes out over that anger, and now you can talk to them. So it's it covers up that anger.
Right.
Now you can talk to them they're not at that point.
Right.
So talking to them is not going to lead to more anger.
Right. That was what I had in mind when I was talking about the husband and wife case, is that the flowers don't get rid of the anger, but it allows you to then communicate. Yeah.
But the chamas is specifically a case where they're about to blow up at you.
Yeah.
If you even just spoke to them, they would blow up at you. So giving them just going up to them, handing them a gift and being like, okay, now let's talk, is not going to work.
It has to be indirect.
Right. So either you have someone else give it to them, or you just kind of I can imagine a way of giving a gift where it's not you're coming and you're starting a conversation with this gift, but it's kind of handing it and waiting. Leaving at that point.
Right. Yeah.
And so maybe that's what the difference is between the shochad b'cheik and matam b'seser, and then so that's going to diffuse the anger, hopefully, and they're going to get off their angry horse.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be able to talk to them at that point because they're still too angry to you. And then maybe you can matam b'seser later.
Right.
Or maybe eventually you'll be able to talk to them, but that needs time, and maybe it won't work. Right. They're so angry that maybe this just won't work.
So you're also taking a similar approach to Ariel, that this is about how to just strategies for getting rid of anger, and the pasuk is not making a value judgment about when you should or shouldn't use this technique or whether it will or not serve your greater purposes. Just saying these are techniques in.
I mean, I would think it's telling you use this technique when someone's mad at you or
Right.
wrathful at you.
Right, but I'm saying that the pasuk is, right. But the pasuk is not really advertising, let's say, like the benefits of doing that. It's just like saying, here's a tool. Yeah.
I mean, I do want to say that the second half of the pasuk to me is like the last resort. I don't think that the pasuk is saying you should do that. I think it's like the best possible worst situation. The best situation is the first half of the pasuk. But because people may think a bribe will work, but in reality it doesn't, because it's just appeasing him. And
Right. And there are a lot of pesukim, by the way, in Mishlei, or not a lot, but there are pesukim about how bribes are not going to work and are going to get you into more trouble. So that should be taken as well.
I think so. The finish of the second half of the pasuk is like, don't do this because you may think it'll appease him. Is the opposite. You should try to remove it, because that's ultimately what's gonna strengthen your relationship versus just maintaining it.
I've lost track of how you're reading the second half of the pasuk.
I'm trying to say that.
First of all, how are you reading it? Just the reading part before you're explaining it.
I am reading the first half of the pasuk is, if you give a gift in secret, it will overturn the anger because he's gonna,
No, because is not reading. Just tell me how you're translating the pasuk.
Okay.
Yeah.
A gift in secret overturns the anger.
Yeah.
And a bribe in the lap will appease his wrath.
Okay. And what's the difference between overturn and appease, the way you're using those two words? Because I feel like you're using them in different
One
ways.
is removing and one is suppressing it.
So you're saying appease means to suppress? Because that's not what the word means, but appease means to get rid of it. That's what was confusing me about listening to your.
I think diffuse means get rid of it. Appease could just mean you're just.
I don't think so, right? Appease is you.
I mean, you may be appeasing him, but you're not really appeasing. So you're not really removing anything that's.
All right, maybe you just need a better word.
I think appease actually does have the connotation of like maybe there's still something there.
Oh yeah,
I think assuage is like it's gone, but I think appease is
pacify or placate someone by acceding to their demands, relieve or satisfy a demand or a feeling.
I think both pacify and placate have a connotation of not like fully getting rid of it.
Okay, I just disagree with that, especially in Hebrew. I mean, like we use the word like to be, like marata, or mafayes, I don't know, but I don't want to squabble about this. Let's look at Metzudas David just in the last minute, just so we have something to think about, and then we'll have to return to meforshim tomorrow here. So Metzudas David says, because we have lots of approaches here. Okay, matan hanosin matan b'seiser lemi shechara apobo. So someone who gives a gift in secret to someone who was got really angry at him. This gift will cover up the anger, and it will not be seen anymore, right? So that's interesting, right? So it's there, but it's just not manifest. V'shochad b'cheik, hanosin shochad b'cheik, one who gives a gift in the lap, rotzolomar b'haster, meaning in secret, az yichpe bezeh chama az v'chazaka. It will cover up strong and powerful wrath. Same idea, different words.
What are you going to last?
What?
What do you mean?
Those two halves are the same idea, just different words. He's saying, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so according to him, I mean, the advantage of him is we have a very simple thing to think about here, right? Which is that like you're just making it so that the wrath doesn't manifest itself. So I'll say like a half an idea right now, because what we have to think about for tomorrow is it is interesting that when you give the guy a gift, even if he is angry, there's going to be a certain shame in him venting the anger at you when you were so nice to him. So it might put a stopper on the anger. Like he might even still feel the wrath, but like it takes a certain type of person to like outlet the anger at you even after you give him this beneficial thing, So maybe that's the type of thing I was talking about. So it's like a really temporary, I mean, not temporary. It's a really, in terms of like our levels of like covering up, appeasement, whatever, very superficial. You're just preventing him from acting on the anger, Yeah. All right. Let's think about it for tomorrow then.
I have a
I'm not gonna summarize.
personal story for that.
So do I. Yeah. Yeah. Here. Well, let me just stop the recording.
It's something bad actually.
No, it's fine though.